Hey everyone, what's going on? Megachast here, coming at you with some anime review on Boruto episode number 3. Now, this contains spoilers. If you haven't watched Boruto, as I've said in the other two videos of this, I highly suggest you pause this video right now, open up a new tab, and check out the episode, and then come back and watch this video for a review. Or unless you just don't care about spoilers and want to know, stay tuned, and we'll talk about Boruto. Now, in episode number 3, the title of it was Metal Lee Goes Wild, which I think is actually pretty cool that they're showing Lee's kid. Me personally, I have been a fan of Lee. I thought Lee was a good character in Naruto, especially in the Chunin exams preliminary rounds, when they actually introduced him and actually showed what he was capable of without ninjutsu or genjutsu. Because he was always that character that couldn't use both of them. But when he was a kid either, he really wasn't that good at taijutsu either. He actually had to put in a lot of work and practice, which is what made him so good in the show and made him unique to all the other characters, which I think was actually pretty good. But now Lee's kid is even more unique. This kid is, of course you would expect it out of Lee's kid. He is very extremely good in taijutsu. He is actually really good at it, and he's very strong for a kid his age, which I think is actually pretty damn good. But he does have one downfall, and that is he gets nervous easily and messes up a ton when he is nervous. Because in the beginning of the episode, they all were outside doing their shuriken throws, little shuriken throws at the little logs to see and practice to get good at it. But of course, all really the main characters' kids had to do that at home. They were already taught that because they want their kids to be a good ninja as they were. So, as expected, all of them were really good. Like, every person that, like, Shikadaya, Metal, Sadara... Well, they didn't show Sadara, actually. I don't think they showed... They might have showed her, but I'm not for sure. I can't actually really remember. I'm not for sure, but I don't think so. And Saya's kid. They were pretty good. Lee's kid even shows up. Wasn't nervous because he wasn't thinking where he was at. He does like a dragon stance, and a dragon pops up behind him, and he throws two shurikens and hits in the middle. But when Shikadaya says, wow, he's actually pretty good, he messes up and just kind of like tosses. Just because he was nervous. So he messed up, and he was trying to play it off like, oh, my hand slipped. How unusual. It's not right. And then Boruto comes in and says, out of the way, everyone, this is how you do it. And he runs out of the he was in a locker room, as he says. He pulls out, he has a demon wind shuriken in his fucking hands and throws the motherfucker. So Shikadaya and Shino's kid, or Ino's kid, no, Sai's kid, I don't know why I was saying Shino. They jump out of the way, but Metal Lee's kid says this is a perfect time to show him what I can do. But then then he realizes where he's at and gets nervous in front of all these people because he wants to show how good they are. But he is stage fright, as people call it, stage fright. And he goes to kick it. He says, leaf hurricane, and sticks his foot in the middle of it and goes along with it and hits the board. So now, they all get punished. Boruto, the class rep, Metal Lee, Shikadaya, and what's his, I can't remember his name. Cannot remember his name. But Sai's kid. They all get in trouble, and the teacher says that they have to he wants them to do community service after school. Oh, and I also forgot that Kawaki was in there too. He got in trouble because he had an illegal weapon at school that was not authorized. Because it was actually, the Demon Wind Shuriken was his. So, what they have to do after class is fix the stone wall Hokage's face. The 7th Hokage's one that Boruto messed up because he was an idiot and doesn't care about his father, and that's what happened. So, when they're all fixing it, Metal Lee's the only one, after a while, hasn't finished his side of the face. And the class rep says, keep your break, because they're all playing games and trying to work their strategy, and says, keep your breaks to a short minimum, please. They all say okay. And they say, your side's the only one that's not finished, Metal. Gets nervous, cracks the whole side of the Hokage's face. Now there's even a bigger chunk. Instead of it just being his little hair, now it's like his face just fucking is messed up. Because Metal Lee got nervous. So now they have to redo that after they all got out and safe. They have to continue working on this Hokage's face until it gets fixed. But on the walking home, Shikadaya says to Lee, like, that you're nervous and you mess up. And like Lee and Metal's like, that's actually y'all knew that? He's like, yeah, you thought it wasn't obvious? But then he says you're too honest for your good and you need to get over that nervousness. Because he's Shikamaru's son, he's not really thinking of kind of other people's feelings. Because Shikamaru only thought of one thing, and that was he just wanted to be lazy. He was smart and all that, but he was just wanting to be lazy. He didn't want to put in the effort for things. It's the same way as Shikadaya. So he didn't really think of it, and so Lee gets sad. Not Lee, but Metal gets sad and says he's gonna go the opposite way and go somewhere. Now I don't know where he goes, but I assume it's gonna go to his training spot, because that's kind of what like seems like he would do is go train. So when Shikadai gets home, his mother Tamari, ooh god Tamari, she put a wrath on him and says like he got in trouble. He says no, it was Boruto's fault. She says don't lie. That's not a very nice of you. It's not a great man to do. So she tries to get Shikamaru to scold him, but he says if you don't get scolded at school, you don't get in trouble, you're just gonna get rotten inside and not know feeling sorry and all that. Yeah, and she says no dinner for both of you. They don't get dinner that night. But Shikadai thought of what his actual father said. Says he gets to apologizes to Metal in the morning. So when the morning rolls around, Boruto and Shikadai is walking to school, and Shikadai sees Metal. So, but Boruto's again the weird eye thing that's kind of like a Byakugan, but not at the same time because it's a different color. He turns and his eye is in that shape, and he can see the little chakra aura around him. So when Shikadai goes to approach him and tells him he's sorry, Metal jumps over a wall, and now so Shikadai goes after him, and along with Boruto and Saiya's Kid. They both jump over the wall. Well, Boruto and Saiya's Kid like jump on the wall while Shikadai jumps over the wall and tries to apologize to Lee. But the interesting part, or not Lee, but Metal, and the interesting part comes in is when he does that, this dude has been possessed, bitten by the chakra that Denki was bitten by, that I originally assumed was the Zero Tails. But it's not so anymore, because they actually showed the figure of what it looks like. And to be honest, I don't know what it is, but it looks like what it does is when you're upset and sad, it preys on you and bites you, and when it infects you, you become of wanting to be stronger and wanting to show the world of that you were doubting yourself of. Because when he's doing that, Metal says, see how strong I am when I'm not nervous. And he starts fighting Shikadaya. So Boruto and Saiya's Kid jump in to try to help him, but Shikadaya tries like, I'm thinking of a plan, but for now, let's run. So they run, and Metal's chasing after him, which I think it's funny, pretty animation, and I'm seriously loving this series right now. It's pretty good. It's actually has a different feel of the original Naruto, but it still has the Naruto feel of it, which I love. But eventually, Shikadaya, Boruto, and Saiya's Kid hide behind a bush, and Metal can't find him. So Shikadaya says, I have a plan, but we have to work together. Boruto, you cannot go out charging by yourself on this. So Boruto surprisingly follows the plan, and 3 Borutos jump out from behind a bush, attacking Lee, or Metal, and he just doesn't care, he's trying to get it off. So then it shows Shikadaya chasing after Metal with his shadow paralysis jutsu. Metal knows that trick. He's like, it's good. So he dodges it. Once he gets to a certain length to where supposedly Shikadaya can't, go any farther, he says it has a limit. He's like, that's a shadow paralysis jutsu. If it touches your shadow, it puts the person, whoever's shadow that is, immobilized. He's like, but it has its limits, I can see now. Apparently Lee or Metal didn't know that. But all of a sudden, he gets paralyzed, and he didn't know. And so he was like, but how? The shadow's not touching me. I'm out of its reach. He hasn't moved. What's going on? So he looks and sees that Shikadaya is actually behind another bush that used his shadow to actually catch Lee or catch Metal off guard. I want to keep calling him Lee because he acts so much like Lee and is a lot like Lee because it is Lee's kid. So pardon me for my mistakes of saying Lee. But all of a sudden, he's like, but I thought you were over there. It's Boruto that used a shadow clone jutsu and a transmission jutsu to look like Shikadaya. So he's like, what about the shadow though? And Sai's kid's like, Super Beast Scroll. And so it turns into like two snakes, and it looks, which I was really hoping kind of to actually see, because it actually looked a lot like it. It looked like Metal was about to bust the 8 gates technique out on those poor kids. Because, oh my god, I would have loved to see how Boruto and Shikadaya and Sai's kid would have reacted to that. So, I mean, he, mentally possessed by the little weird chakra, is powering up. In Shikadaya tells Boruto, knock him out now, or it's going to be bad. But Boruto's like, he doesn't really want to do it because he's not really understanding what's going on. He's like, but eventually Boruto goes, okay, I'll do it. So right when Boruto goes to do it, he breaks free from the shadow paralysis jutsu and falls forward, but he snaps out of it, out of the little weird thing that's kind of keeping him at bay, that's like keeping him stronger, and he hits another post and bumps his head, knocks him out of it. And they're all looking like, is he okay or what? He stands up and says, what did I do? And Shikadaya gets down, bows, and he's on his knees and bowing, telling him that he's sorry, that when his power isn't nervous, that it is actually great, which I think is actually pretty funny. So after all that happened, they go up and they're just playing their game, and Metal catches them and says he's gonna report it to the teacher. But they all say that it can help your teamwork and it can help your nervousness out, and it actually helps a lot if you play the game. So when he's doing that, they all pressure him, and he breaks the game. And that's pretty much the end of it, which I think is actually pretty neat on how they're actually going about this story. I really want to see Metal fight more, because I mean, imagine, like, I'm pretty sure he knows the 8th gate's techniques. I'm pretty sure he can open at least some of the gates now, because he is Lee's kid. And that's really about it for today. And that's really all that's really happened in the episode, is that much. So if y'all liked and enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and see y'all later.